Jokes apart, Man United is the most trolled team on the internet, in bars, viewing centers. In fact, the whole world, anywhere you go right now, football fans are trolling Man United. And I don't blame them. The team is shit. But are you surprised? As a United fan, are you really surprised? We are basically using the same shit team from last season. The team that was the worst team in the history of Man United in the Premier League. And then you brought in a new coach and you are telling the new coach to perform magic with that team. Like abracadabra, and this player starts balling like prime backer of Man City. Are we kidding? It's not possible. The players are simply not good enough. So look at it. We brought in our last two coaches have been elite coaches. Ten Hag was the fans' choice to take over the job, hands down, because we knew he can play good football. Now he has come in with decent players, and we are seeing the same problems we had under Ranić. A lot of people were like, "Oh, Ranić is not a coach. He talks too much." But Ranić is an elite coach. Ranić has built football clubs in the past. He has that experience. He is good at it. This same Ranić, when he was leaving, said Man United need at least 10 new players in the summer. He gave the board and the scouts a list of 5 players. The news came out recently. Man United did not look at any of the 5. Ten Hag came. Great ideas, back him. That's the least you can do for a new coach. Back his ideas with players and give him time. He was not backed. His first choice of players that he requested, I'm sure he gave the board a list. On that list, there was Jurien Timber, there was Darwin Núñez, there was Anthony, there was Frankie de Jong, there is the wing back in Inter Milan. They were on that list. How many have we been able to get him? 0. And then we expect him to perform magic with the Maguires, McFreds, the Diogo Dallos, the Rashfords, the Elangas of this world. Come on. He is a good coach. He's not a magician. You cannot ask someone to bake you cake, and instead of giving them flour, you give them shit. You should be ready to eat shit cake. And that's what Man United fans are eating right now. I dare say we are not a big club per se anymore. We have been living in the past for a while, which is fine. And it's beginning to seem like we're Arsenal. Because a couple of years, this was Arsenal. Everyone's favorite trolled team was Arsenal. Man United, by default, is that team. By default. It's not even about just what's happening on the pitch, it's what's happening off the pitch. The kind of players we are going for smacks of desperation. Rabiot, I'm sure Rabiot was not choice A, B, C, or D. But we will back him because it's even better than the rubbish we have right now. The truth is, Man United is in shambles, but it is salvageable. It is salvageable. I felt we made the right choice by appointing Ten Hag. That was supposed to be the start of turning things around. The next step was give him the players he wants and get out the players he doesn't want. And start helping him build a team. Not forcing him to work with what's available. That's the recipe for disaster. How many times have we seen that work? Let's look at the blueprint of other big teams. Man City, Liverpool. How did they do this thing? When they brought in Klopp, over a few years, he was backed. The players he didn't want, they let them go. All the Andy Carrolls. There were lots of players that if you look at over the next 2 years that Klopp was there, that Liverpool let go of. But Man United still has a lot of dead wood in the team, and we are refusing to freshen up the team with the type of players the coach wants. It can get worse. Honestly, it can get worse, because if we keep using the same players, it probably would get worse by December. But I'm not worried, because the job that Ten Hag was brought to do wasn't supposed to materialize this season. This season was to steady the ship, get out a lot of players, bring in a few players, and steady the ship. I was not hoping for a Champions League finish. No, I was not hoping for a top 4 finish. Not at all. But I expect him that this first season should be a sign of what's to come. And if it is a sign of what's to come, it's a sign that this manager would hardly be backed. And when the team fails, like inevitably it will, he will be blamed. But we know one thing. Ten Hag is a great coach. Ranić is a great coach. They couldn't perform with the bunch of players we have. Something needs to change. For me, it's the board. The owners need to, because clearly the way they've run this club has been really bad. We've had several elite managers who couldn't do anything, and their complaints had always been the way things are being run in the back room. From the board to this Man U scouts, I wonder what they do. To me, they seem like civil servants, Nigerian civil servants that just go to work, gist, you get, and then head home. Because what are they even doing? How a normal club should function is, if a coach wants a player, say Ten Hag has given his list of 5 players, and then we've looked at these 5 players. He probably has explained to the scouting department that this is how I want to play, and these are the type of players I'm looking at. That's why I want these players. If Man United can't get those players, the scouting department is supposed to go back, do their work, and find similar players to those ones that we probably can't get. And say, hey, Ten Hag, even if we can't get these players, we've scouted this group of players that can work based on they have similar attributes. Is it pass completion? Is it similar accuracy rates? Exactly. You bring alternatives to the table, and Ten Hag can then. But it seems like our scouting is working with scout reports from 3-4 years ago. That's why we keep being linked to Arnautovic, because we heard it way back before. We keep being linked to Rabiot. We've heard it way back before. Sergej Milinkovic-Savic. We've heard it way back before. It's like they scouted these players 3-4 years ago, and now when we are now in need of players, they went to dust open those files from 3-4 years ago and say, okay, these are these players we've scouted. Because from the way I see it, they haven't been doing shit since forever. That's the way we are. So, yeah, Man United is gradually becoming the next Arsenal. We are being trolled left, right, and center. I'm ashamed to wear my jersey out these days. But, yeah, better times ahead. It's up United. We will come back bigger and better.